Hi guys, I'm hiding out in the woods today to do a video, get some peace and quiet. And so today I was going to discuss a little bit about our eldest Ulysses, who no longer likes to come on, certainly like video camera. He's sort of okay with me pre-approving pictures of him occasionally on social media, but even that I'm trying to tone down a bit now. He's getting a bit older. He's just turned 12 last December. And I just really wanted to focus on the topic of him teaching himself how to read, since that's a hot topic of contention in the sort of the home education, unschooling world. The fact that you don't need to force a literacy curriculum on children, and they will just pick it up themselves. There's a great sort of anecdote that says if we put babies into, all babies that is, from a young age into sort of daycare, a kindergarten program, instead of them being at home with their primary caregivers, then it would only take a couple of generations for us to start to believe that they couldn't learn to walk without tuition. So yeah, I find that interesting because obviously we've got to that place with literacy now where we believe that children could not possibly learn to pick up reading and writing without the adult forced curriculum at an early age, which is just not the case. So anyway, I wanted to, just for those who may not have watched the last documentary we did with Ulysses in it, which was about 4 years ago now, I just wanted to rerun the fun so you could have a little watch at what occurred before he started to dislike being on camera. So here we go.
4-year-old Astara, it seems like play is the #1 priority.
So my understanding is that homeschooling and unschooling, they're two different things.
Yes, homeschooling is taking the school curriculum or the structure and just bringing it into the home, whereas unschooling is child-led learning. You're not providing them with a set curriculum, but you're following their lead in what they want to learn about. Their syllabus is created by them, really, whatever they take an interest to, and then we provide the resources and the opportunities to explore that.
So you don't go to school, Yuli?
No.
Tell me why you don't go to school.
I don't like it. You don't like it. Doesn't want to. He has had the choice and he's chosen not to.
So in terms of literacy, numeracy, things like that, are you sitting down with them Monday to Friday and going through times tables, spellings?
No, I mean, since about 7, we've been doing a little bit of formal learning, but still he's just more of a doer for learning. He likes to get out there and do things, yeah.
Can you read?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No, we're learning, aren't we?
Can you spell your name?
No.
No. Friends, don't be slow. Step right up to the nonsense show. I think the bunny rabbit's saying that. In his high heels. He tried his hardest every way to win a golden star.
Day.
Oh, you're right. You're totally right.
I don't read.
Brilliant. Neither can I, seemingly.
Okay, so as you can see there, Stacey Dooley came to stay with us for the weekend, and she was very down to earth, warm and friendly with the kids, but she was coming in with a very conventional mindset, which, as far as I could see, she was open-minded in one sense. There's a lot of things she was willing to rethink, but I think the two stances she definitely wasn't open to rethinking were her stance on education and medicine and vaccines. So we'll just concentrate on the education today. So yeah, I think part of the reason really why I've been asked why does Ulysses not come on the camera anymore? Why does he not want to show himself and be so public? I think because his awareness has really grown, that society has these expectations of children and when they should be doing things. And I think he began to really feel the pressure of it, the expectations, the judgments, and I just think he didn't like it. He didn't want to have that kind of level of pressure sort of projected onto him anymore. And so even by the end of that Stacey Dooley documentary, he didn't even want to be in the photo shoot for the end. So if you look at the sort of cover shots for that particular program, only us and the girls are in it because he just was overwhelmed by that weekend. And he did have a period of even becoming quite upset because of all the targeted questions at him all the time and the sort of indirect pressure he felt from it. So yeah, we just respect really his privacy now to choose to do things in his own way. But that said and done, I have had a chat to him, and even though he's not happy to be on camera, he was happy for me to come at him with your guys' questions about his reading and just about him in general, and for me to pop some answer back to you guys based on what he said to me and a bit of my opinion too. And maybe at the end as well, I'll get a little bit of Matt's opinion on things, because we do differ in our opinions, even though we do in general take the same approach with our parenting. So yeah, my sort of evaluation of Yuli is he's what they call an autodidact. So that means he's self-taught. He doesn't like anyone coming at him trying to force their agenda on him. So he will come at you when he's ready and ask questions. And we did do in the past, let's say around about probably from about 7 onwards, with him and his sister, we did do a little bit of sit down formal workbook sort of reading and writing skills with flashcards and things. And we started to do a little bit of phonics, but he never really got on with it and didn't gravitate towards it. So maybe we did a little bit here and there. We just at that point stepped back, and he wasn't really that interested in it. So yeah, we allowed him to carry on. He's very much a child that spends a large portion of his time learning on computers anyway. So we thought it would just be best to leave him to that world. And sure enough, that was the world that motivated him to want to learn to read. So he just got frustrated when he was doing either his watching his YouTube things, trying to navigate that, or online gaming where people were trying to communicate with him. And then he really decided that he just wanted to, the frustration of wanting to do it gave him the purpose of just then picking it up. But before he could learn to read, he was really excellent at navigating the world through symbols and pictures. And so he did manage to do an awful lot without the skill of reading. And I feel that if he had been a curriculum or phonics, phonetics have been enforced on him, then he might have missed that magical skill that provided an insight into the world that was very valuable for him to see things in a different perspective. So yeah, he picked up the symbols first, and then I don't know how, like, I come to him, I said to him, Yuli, everyone's interested, how did you learn to teach yourself to read? Because it's a very interesting concept in our society. We believe that children need to be taught by a curriculum, by an adult in a school setting or a homeschool setting. And his simple response is, Mummy, I just don't know. I don't know how I did it. I just did it. It happened. And so it was very organic. It's kind of like, I think you learn to walk by falling over, making mistakes. But there's not a set sort of formula for doing it. You just try again. And it just naturally, organically grows and happens. So yeah, in conclusion to that question, what resources did you use? What books? Really not many books. We just noticed one day that he started picking up his sister's storybooks and at night time and started reading them out to her. And out of nowhere, it was really bizarre because obviously we grew up being taught to read, so it was very strange just to see that it just happened naturally. But he's not a bookworm at all. In fact, he quite dislikes books. So even though he can now read out of a book, it's not books that he chooses to read. It's the world of technology that inspires him and motivates him. So yeah, we have a big library of books downstairs, and he has lots in his room, and occasionally he would pick something up and ask us to go through it, but primarily he just enjoys learning on the computers. So there's no texts or anything like that really that he picks up and goes to. But let me go to some other questions that people have asked me. So, how old was he when he taught himself to read? I think that was like wasn't like a set age. It was like over a period. But I'd say he started to show a real interest between 9 and 10 years of age, and by 11 years of age, he pretty much got it with all the basic skills. And now he's 12, so it's just like advancing at this point. Yes, I've talked about using computers. What does he want to be when he's grown up? This is a funny question, isn't it? Because as adults, we're always projecting into the future and asking kids what they want to be. But what he loves right now and what he feels like he's going to end up doing is a mixture of the world of technology. So he'd quite like to be sort of a game designer and a YouTube gamer, content creator. And then the other things he shows an interested in is he absolutely loves animals, especially marine animals, and very into science. So we've always had like science experiment kits that we do with him, and we've done a little bit of like out school programs of doing online science classes. So maybe something like a marine biologist. I mean, he's not for sure knowing yet, but those are the areas of interest that he has. Someone asked me if he likes music. Not playing, he's never gravitated to play instruments, but he loves listening to music, especially sort of like the house, techno, and the relaxing, sort of meditative, chill out music, all of that. He's a very sort of sensitive soul, highly sensitive child. So, yeah, music and animals are very healing for him. And he's always been, when does he learn best? I was asked. And so I talked to him about this, and we both agree he's a night owl. He's never slept well from like being a newborn. He's never gone to sleep before 11 p.m. And now he's hitting kind of those pre-teenage years. The sleep cycle's gone even more off whack. But yeah, he's they say about lots of sort of, call him a genius. I don't want to label him, but he is a very switched on child. And he's they say typically they're quite messy and bad sleepers. So yeah, he's not so great at sleeping. So he comes alive and wants to do things at night, which works well because then we're busy with the girls in the day and he chills out in the day, and then at night time he gets more time dedicated to him in the evenings. So that works well for us. Right, so doesn't like books yet. And then there was a really random question that I'm not sure is related really at all to reading or how he learns, but it was just, why is his hair so nice? And he attributes that to the fact that his favourite supplement that he puts on all his food every day is apple cider vinegar. So there you go. That's the magic cure for shiny hair. But also I think, also hair is pretty much in the little bit genetical, isn't it? So he's got that nice thin silky hair anyway. But yeah, apple cider vinegar is the answer to that one. So yeah, about the type of learner he is, going back to the learning, he's always been sort of, I'm not sure there's probably a term for this, but the type of learner that likes to sit back, watch and observe with curiosity. He doesn't like to be full on in the center of attention. He doesn't like crowds and big groups of people, so we tend to only take him where the numbers are small. And he has like one-on-one play dates, and he likes it quite. So yeah, he's an observer, which is why I guess he could make a very good scientist, because that's the whole premise, is being patient to sit and watch. He's always had amazing intense focus, so he can sit and do something, whatever it is. Like when he was little, we used to be out in the parks and stuff. He could spend 5-6 hours like doing just swinging and sliding and just being in his meditative zone with that. And like now, obviously, now he's with the computers, he can spend like whole days just zoning out and being focused on whatever game he's trying to complete, or whatever he's researching on YouTube. He's very intensely focused. So yeah, that's one of his, I think, strong qualities that enable him to do very well at whatever he chooses to excel at. But yeah, overall, I'm not fussed about him not wanting to be on social media, and never would I push him to come back on here. I think it's lovely that he's happy for me to share the journey of the fact that he quite competently did teach himself to learn to read, and that he does absolutely fine without any adult imposed curriculum. But yeah, I'd be really happy to answer any further questions or ask Yuli any further questions you have. If you pop them in the comments, please do subscribe because we are now monetized. And as Sastara says, subscribe to make us rich. No, that would be great if you could subscribe and like. Helps with my upping the how many people the channel reaches. But yeah, any comments, just stick them below and I'll try and stick some interesting links, articles about children teaching themselves learning to read. Yeah, thanks very much, guys. Have a lovely day. Take care. Okay, so Matt, can you give me a little synopsis of how you found the journey of allowing Yuli to find his own feet, learning how to read?
Tough. Tough in a simple word, because you had to catch yourself at some point along the journey and remember that you needed to unschool yourself. You needed to turn around and realize that the way that you were shown was not necessarily the correct way for him, and wasn't actually, fun enough, necessarily the correct way even for yourself, but it was a forced rhythm rather than a natural rhythm. So when you're kind of hoping that your child will pick up a natural rhythm and curiosity to learn language and to learn numbers, shall we say, and then they don't, you kind of panic, you worry, and you think, "Oh, am I doing it wrong?" And what you realise is that you got caught up in the whole rushing vibe. They must have this down by that age. They must have that down by that age. They must tick this checkbox by that age, and it's all very mechanical, really. The process that so many of us have gone through, and so many of us continue to put our children through. And so with Yuli, the amount of times I thought, oh dear, this kind of way of trusting them to follow their own path is failing. I couldn't tell you how many times, but you take a deep breath, you trust, you realize that you're doing this because you want to make a different discovery, not necessarily a new discovery, but a different discovery. And then lo and behold, just as you think you failed, he shows you that you haven't. And he goes, "There you go. I've got that skill set down." Well, how did you do that? "Oh, I needed it, and so I acquired it." In its simplest of forms, that's what happened. And you go, so all I needed to really do was get out of their way and provide emotional support, I suppose would be one thing, for both yourself and for them. And the right environment, and just trust the mystery of life. I think that's the key to this process, is knowing that life is a mystery in many respects. Yes, but there's a lot of it we know, but there's a lot we don't know. And because there's a lot that we don't know, we just got to get out of the way, observe, and step in when we're asked to step in. So yeah, that's been the journey with Yuli learning to read, and then also all of the other skills that he acquires, and also the other children.
Cool, thank you.